Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for having us here today. My name's Erin Montsalve and I'm one of the 2 Nowra High School captains. So when we decided that we would have 2 female captains, it wasn't based on gender anymore. It was simply whoever was voted in the most. So the school didn't decide based on a boy and a girl. And so actually we have 6 members. We have 2 captains, 2 vice captains and 2 prefects. 5 of 6 are girls this year. Yeah, the boy's a bit outnumbered in that situation, but he doesn't mind it too much. So we've got myself and Michaela, who are the 2 captains, and the process for that, we were first nominated by a teacher. So everyone who ran for the SRC was nominated by a member of staff at the school. And then after that, you filled out your application where you put forward an idea you had for the year and something we could implement, and then the reasons why you wanted to be a part of the representative council. And then following that, for the captains, we had to give a speech to our peers. And so we pretty much pitched our ideas to why they should vote for us. And then they voted one person who they wanted to be captain. And then we gave a speech to the teachers. So that was a bit more of a formal speech where we had to be serious and give the staff an idea of why we would make a good school captain. And following that, we had an interview with the principal and Mrs. Austin, who is the other SRC teacher. And they interviewed us and asked us questions about why we would make a good leader and what ideas we would put forward for the school. And so Michaela and I were lucky enough to be elected into the council. And so far we've done quite a few things for the school and many ideas that we have to come. So at the moment, we've just finalised Valentine's Day, which is a celebration. What we do, we sell chocolates and roses. And so kids can come up and write a slip. So they address it to somebody and we send them out in the morning. So we did that this morning, a day early because we have school photos tomorrow. But we basically just deliver it to build school ethos and just create a happy place for the people to be in and spread some love at this time of year. But it also is a good fundraiser for the projects that we want to do in our school. So one thing that we're looking to do at the moment is the car park at the bottom of the school where the Year 12s park is very unsafe. It's lots of potholes. It's hard to get your car down there. So we were actually talking to the principal about getting that fixed and tarred down so that we'll have a safer place for people to drive. And we're also looking to raise money for the school toilets because they're quite unclean at the moment and not a pleasant place. So we're trying to get a bit of support for that and raise some money to fix that. So myself at school, I do quite a different variety of subjects, but I do advanced English and maths, PE, legal studies and chemistry. So it's a bit of a tricky subject, but I'm trying my best because I'm hoping to study a double degree of law and international studies at Wollongong University next year. And I need to get quite a high ATAR for that, but hopefully my subjects will allow me to do that. And so after school, I'm just hoping to go and study law and then after that travel the world and just want to get lots of experiences from many different cultures and people and just learn life lessons that I can take with me. And I think Nowra High School has really set me up for that because I've learned so many valuable things about how to make friends, how to socialise with people and how to just adapt to new situations that are always thrown at us at our school, especially being captain with always having something new told that we've got to do, sometimes not being prepared for it like today, but always just having a new thing that we need to do and just prepare ourselves within a short period of time. And I think Nowra High School, the staff are so supportive there. You always have like someone to turn to if you're in trouble or if you need help. And it's just the people there, your friends and the staff, is just such a supportive environment. And like last year, the results for HSC were the highest in this area. And we had 2 students top the state in the subjects they did. So it's very highly academic school, and I think that really prepares you for every aspect you could need. It's got the academic side and the social side, and it just really prepares you for what's out there in life. So I'll introduce Michaela now. So thank you for listening. I'm sorry if I've babbled on for too long, but thank you so much for having us here.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Michaela Barnes. I might come out here because you can't really see my whole body behind that. My name is Michaela Barnes. I'm from Nowra High School. I'm the other captain with Erin over there. Yes, as Erin said, so many opportunities at Nowra High School. So I'll just start off a little bit telling you a little bit about myself. So background from Sydney. I was born in Sydney in Oatlands. We moved down here in 2003 after my dad passed away from cancer. So I'm from the South Coast down in St George's Basin, so around the Huskisson area. Wouldn't have it any other way. My grandparents, I've been raised by them and my mum, and so I've been raised around the kitchen table with my grandfather telling me about the likes of John Howard, and got some political conversation around there. So my grandfather was the managing director of Formica Corporations, which led him all around the world. So I've grown up around the business kind of area, and I think that's why I'm a little bit more confident and have management skills that my mum doesn't like. But yeah, so obviously when I got captain, they were very proud of me because I'm really close to my grandfather. He has taught me to speak really well. I remember writing different speeches around the kitchen table at age 5 because he'd set me up for life pretty much. But yeah, so I've learned a lot from them. They are my biggest supporters, 110%. I couldn't do anything without them. I've done so many different things and had so many different opportunities in the community to get myself out there. Met the Prime Minister the other day. That's not the sentence that you get to hear every day. But yeah, so that was just one of the things that I've got to do all because of my family. So if there's anything that comes down to it, it's always family over everything. So I suppose you talk a bit about Nowra High School. So Nowra High, I'm out of zone. So I got in there because my mum wrote me a really good application. So you get accepted through, I don't know if Erin spoke about this, but accepted through different, you have to go through different interviews and stuff like that. I remember having an interview with Mr. Ryan, our year advisor now, and I remember being really scared, and I'm still scared of him. Yeah, so that was really interesting and definitely a really exciting moment to be able to get into that school because as Erin said, it is known as one of the best schools in the Shoalhaven, one of the best public schools in the Shoalhaven, and it's definitely got so many opportunities. Probably the opportunities for me started in Year 9 when I volunteered for the Young Women's Christian Association, and it pretty much went from there. From there, there's so many different things you can get involved with. There's youth advisory committee meetings, which is the Shoalhaven Council. So we get to allocate funds to different groups that apply for them. There's the Zone SRC, which I started up with the help of John Lamont, who I've also recommended to you guys, runs NowraChemicals. Yeah, he's a very good businessman. Yeah, so there's so many opportunities. I think we've got 1,200 people in our school and 137 people in just Year 12. So Erin and I are studying Year 12 at the moment. I do a few different subjects. I'm a bit of a people person, so I do society and culture, community and family studies, ancient history, business studies, and English. So I've never really known what I wanted to do after school. Pa always told me I was going to be the Prime Minister, so I was just like, yeah, I'll do that. And then I met him and I'm like, this is a really big job. Yeah, so I've always wanted to join the political side. Gareth Ward tries to tell me that I'm going to join the Young Liberals as soon as I get out of school. I'm like, my pa doesn't like that. But yeah, so I've always liked politics. I've always been interested in the law, but then I asked how much the ATAR was to get in at the Discovery Day the other day, and it's something that I don't think is real achievable. So yeah, I'm looking towards doing a Bachelor of Arts and then through that going through the humanity or business. Yeah, so I'm really interested in that kind of thing. Hopefully I can get into that, but we'll give it a go. That's all you got to do. What else is going on at Nowra High School? There's a lot of people in the SRC over the years we've had the SRC sort of not done as much things as they possibly could do. So I remember saying to Jenny Austin, if I am captain, this is what I'm going to do. But it's actually a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. So, but yeah, we've definitely gotten in there. There's a lot more people because the voting system is different this year. It's not voted so much on popularity, but if you're going to do a good job in the SRC, and that's definitely made a difference because we've gotten so many things done already. It's just so awesome. Everyone in there is just so encouraging, so motivated to do things, and it's just unreal. So we just did Valentine's Day this morning, and as Erin said, we're looking at doing the car park, and hopefully we've got some quotes for the toilets, the school toilets, to be done. So that's just some of the things that are going on. Also, I have a dream of creating a Nowra High School mascot. To increase the ethos in the school and actually encourage people, because school isn't for everyone. Like, sometimes you just don't want to get up and go to school. You just wish it was holidays. That's like my life. But yeah, so if you're encouraged to go to school and it's a fun place, like you have something like a mascot. We have things like teachers versus Year 12 students volleyball, where you just go in at lunchtime and you have a good game of soccer or volleyball or whatever sport it is, and the school comes in to watch and has a bit of a laugh at the teachers getting hit in the head. So that's pretty fun. So we have things like that. So we have things like that, and that's some pretty good things that are going on at Nowra High School. Does anyone have any questions? No? Okay. All right, thank you so much for having us.
I'm sure you have some questions for the captains. Who has the first question? There we are.
How do you have time to do all these things?
They don't sleep.
Do you sort of program yourself each day, or you're so motivated you're up at the crack of dawn?
Good question.
And you mean you want social lives?
You've
got so much going on.
Yeah, it's for me, I don't know about Erin, but for me, I always wake up really early and I go to bed late, so sleep is probably the thing that suffers the most. We had our SRC camp, and there was in my group that I did, we sort of did a workshop about how to manage time, and I have a diary that I write different things in, but it's just pretty much being organised and being like able to keep up with things and remembering things that you've got to do. But yeah, it is really tough, especially when you have like different things on different days, and right now we're missing out on school. Which means we have to catch up later in our own time, which can also like lead to not being able to go to bed early or that kind of thing. But yeah, it is what it is. And I mean, we got the best job in the school, and I wouldn't trade it in for the world.
So you're enjoying it. I mean, that's the most.
Yeah, exactly.
What is the SRC? I missed it.
Student Representative Council.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Yeah, so do you want to?
Yeah.
The girls both have part-time jobs as well as everything else they do. So they're really wonderful time management.
Well, me, I'm probably the most unorganised person on this planet. And I do not know how I've managed to make it this far. But I just I try to balance my social life with my work and school and all that sort of thing. So with the school captain role, I try and make the most of my time that I'm at school. So recess or lunch, if we need to devote some time to help plan or organise events, I'm more than happy to help with that. And then if I have to do research, I'm more than pleased to just put in time and just make some extra time for that. So normally, my job isn't as regular as Michaela's would be. I'm just a volunteer lifeguard. So I do that maybe once every 2 weeks. So it's just a day out of my week where I'm just at the beach. So there's not much to complain about. But I just try and balance my schoolwork, my homework with the SRC responsibilities. And I find that it's not too difficult to balance those. And it is very enjoyable.
Could I ask you, if your choice of subjects in the final years, do the subjects have different weights They don't?
Not anymore.
Okay. Because I remember you saying that you picked your subjects because, not only because they were relevant to your future choice of university subjects, but because they would help you to get into the course that you wanted at Wollongong. I thought the subjects might have different weights, but they don't. Thank you. Any more questions? Yes, Sid?
Yeah, so with my subjects, I've found that chemistry is quite unrelated to what I want to do in the future, but it's something that interests me and leaves my options wide. So another option that I was considering was physiotherapy. And so I have the required subjects for both law and physiotherapy. And so I've left that open to me. And I do find that that is the subject I struggle with because it is quite difficult. But if I focus with my time management, I focus a bit more time on the chemistry aspect of it so that I don't fall behind on that subject.
More questions from the learned audience?
This is more a question for the teacher, having myself being a retired school teacher. We were told before I retired that you were trying to train students to be adaptable when they left school. Is that still the case today? And therefore Erin is doing exactly what is the current thinking, or has that thinking changed since I retired?
Well, I think to some extent we're training them for a future that doesn't exist yet. So we don't know what we are training the kids for. The jobs that these two will probably be doing in 10 years probably don't exist yet. So we just have to do the best we can to try and stay ahead. There's a lot of focus on ICT and technology, which is really hard because we as teachers are way behind these guys as it is already. My 3-year-old can use an iPad better than I can. But that's just the way it is. So it's really hard to stay on top, but we're hoping to divide and conquer. The other problem with subject selections, and every school will face this, is staffing. We only have a certain number of staff that we're allowed to have. We're only allowed to run a certain amount of subjects based upon numbers. So sometimes it makes it really difficult. For example, Erin might have only had the option of chemistry on one line to do it, to make up her subjects. So that's a really challenging thing as well. So I'm hoping that she'll be prepared, and she won't. And we will be there to help her if she needs to go through. But yeah, training for a future that's unpredictable and unprepared is what we try to do. Exactly the same. I don't think anything's going to change. Just different children.
Further questions?
Yes, I've got a question to you. You're both, I understand, from Huskisson, Jervis Bay, so presumably there's a fair percentage of every week given over to travel. Are you self-sufficient there, or do you utilise a bus or a commuter service? If you're in the latter, in the commuter service, is that time available for study? Is the organisation up to helping you study in travel time?
Yeah, so I have my licence, so I drive to school some days of the week, but if I need to get study done or if I have to get things done for the SRC, then I catch the bus. So I spend an hour and a bit on the bus and then an hour and a bit at home. So I can utilise that time to get anything that I need to get done.
So I'm actually a year younger than I should be for my year, so I can't drive at the moment. But my brother is in my year and he's the right age, so he has his P's and can drive me to school. But I used to catch the bus every morning before he could drive, and that was an hour both ways. But now it's cut down to 25 minutes, so I'm home a lot earlier, can have a sleep in the mornings. It's quite luxurious. But yeah, I will study in the car if I need to do something, or the extra time in the morning. Now that we have free periods, I sometimes don't have to come in until 11 o'clock in the morning. So I'll dedicate that time to study and getting done what I need to get done.
Well, if I was allowed another question, I'd ask, what part does social media play?
The whole thing.
Oh, yeah, a lot of my time, to be honest. Not that I like to admit that, but it does take up it wastes a lot of time, I think. Although it helps communicate. I have family overseas, so I like to communicate with them, and friends I don't get to see, but a lot of time is just wasted scrolling through Facebook meaninglessly.
I'm glad you're taking chemistry. I'm a chemist, and this really is a basic subject. It helps you to understand many other subjects apart from just scientific applications. Are there any other questions?
Do you teach Australian poetry?
It depends on the units that they have at school. So I was an English teacher for a number of years, and we used to teach Australian poetry in Year 7 to our students, but it's not taught, I suppose, the ways... Sorry, it's probably not taught in the way that it used to be taught. And you're very, very restricted now by the syllabus that you have to teach to. So, for example, I'm an ancient history teacher, and Michaela will probably vouch for us here. We get 15 or 16 different points that we need to cover. Say, for example, on the Augustan age, we need to look at the Emperor Augustus and how he made his Principate. And we have about 10 weeks to teach it in. So it's pretty much come in, sit down, and we do as much as we can, and we hope we don't fall behind. It's just, a different way. It's definitely not rote learning anymore. I can't speak on behalf of primary school teachers as I'm not primary trained.
Are there any other questions? Well, thank you very much, young girls, or young ladies, I should say, and Ms. Ray, for coming along. And I'd like to hand over now to our President John, to thank you more formally and make a small presentation. Thank you.
Well, girls, there's a revelation. There's no doubt about every time you young people speak, and I'm enamored. I never cease to be amazed, educated, and heartened. Certainly heartened by the. But I made a note there at one stage. You spoke of school committed, motivated, enthused, and fun. Now, you talked about school using those words, and I asked you, isn't that a positive sign? While you feel that way about it, it's going to do its maximum for you, I'm sure. And in turn, you're going to do the maximum for the community you live in. Really interesting. Thanks for taking time out. I realise you've got to go and catch up. But to you and Miss Ray, no pretty for you, because the girls did the work mostly, didn't they? But a pretty, that's a handcrafted pen. One of our members makes those, so you won't be able to buy its equal anywhere.
Oh, I stopped it.
Oh, it's here, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Right.